Wowie, wowie, look here what is going on right now. Man, what a day. We needed this. This is a big win today, and we're going to talk about what's going on with DWAC, Digital World Acquisition, which we hope to soon, very soon, to have this turn into True Social, which that will be on the stock exchange company that you will be buying into from the former president, and maybe in November, once again, president again, especially if Biden here keeps slipping up. It's not getting better. People are not happy right now. Even people that highly love him are getting a little upset, and it's understandable because people are broke and we keep giving all of our money away. But that's a different video. We're going to talk about stocks. So here we go right now. Friends, obviously some big news has broke here today with DWAC, and the stock it went bonkers today. It went bonkers. Not like crazy bonkers, but it went bonkers enough to show us, hey, it's still alive. It's still doing great. And this was what we wanted to see. So today, what is today? Today's Thursday. The stock today, pre-market, was rolling. I mean, around 6 o'clock this morning, news had broke, and it was popping here. And today it hit a $55 mark. Then some sell off, and we ended the day at $50. So still, it ended today at $50. And I said this maybe the last video or two. I said, listen, I don't know that we're going to see 30s again. 30s may be gone. Even when we had sell off this week, we still didn't touch 30. So this right here is kind of like 30s might be gone. We might be, whittling away right now at the 40s. The 40s might start disappearing here soon. So this is why I said a month ago, I said, this stock could go to $500 by November. As long as the deal goes through, all this stuff with Trump keeps going. There's still so many, peaks here that this company, this stock is going to be hitting. And obviously the first one that has to happen is this merger. Has to happen. It has to happen. So let's talk about that right now with what's going on. So today, Digital World Acquisition came out saying this: the Securities and Exchange Commission declared the registered statement for DWAC combination with Trump's media group to be effective after market close Wednesday. DWAC said that this week it will announce a date for shareholders to vote on the merger in light of approval for the S-4 form. We are immediately proud of the strides we've taken towards advancing the business combination. This achievement marks, so they're just yapping here now, which is fine. We're happy with what's going on. So I'll put a little more on here so you can read, but this is what's happening. I don't know if you might caught. I said I think the last video or so, people keep asking like, when's the merger? March is the deadline for something to happen. Something has to happen here. So we knew that we're going to talk soon. This is why I was saying like, hey, if you're going to get in at this 40, might want to go in because things are going to be going crazy here. Now the deal's not done yet. It's not done. We're just at this point where they're talking. They're saying, "Hey, it looks like it's happening. This is good. This is good." Now we've kind of seen this in the past. This is where I just throw the double-edged sword out. I want to give everybody. I don't want to make this like a video where I'm just talking about the good stuff. I think it's good to talk about bad stuff too. Where we've seen this before, and then the deal got pushed back. Now I don't necessarily see that happening here because this is obviously election year. Trump wants this to happen. Digital World is not, True Social is not going anywhere. I cannot see them dropping the deal with Digital World and starting with another startup company, something like that, because so much has already happened here. A of all, the most important thing is that Trump's not going anywhere, and there's going to be some big announcements here that he's going to make here. Obviously, he's going to announce a running partner in his campaign, a vice president. With that too, there's still primaries, caucuses coming up. This summer is going to be really big, and we pretty much know what's going on right now. It's pretty much Biden, and it is Trump, and that's just what it's going to be. There's no other candidates. They're going to keep Biden running, obviously, and from what it looks like, and Nikki Haley's still in the race. I think she is. I'm pretty sure she is, even though it's like she's there's nothing left at this point. I don't know what she's doing. We know who it's going to be. Now with this, hopefully this deal happens here by March. They will have a vote for shareholders to vote for this to happen. That will be coming up. So I'm sure people that are subscribed to True Social are probably going to get an email if they already haven't. And probably more than likely, if you actually invest in Digital World Acquisition, you will get an email, some kind of thing telling you a voting thing will come up where you're able to vote on this, just like if you have Robinhood and Webull, whatever you do. But more than likely, you'll get a notification. Notification, that's the word I'm looking for here. So the main word that we're seeing in here is just combination. We are immensely proud of the stride we've taken towards advancing the business combination. Big word there. Joining these two together and making this happen. Looking at the stock, what does this mean here? What does this mean? Going back to what I started off yapping here about, this is why I say people sometimes leave me mean comments. They say well, how's it going to go to $100? How's it going to go to, you're saying $500? What data do you have for this? What's their balance sheet looking like? It doesn't match what they're doing. I get all that. I've already said all this, and that's kind of why I had to spew it out every time, because if I don't, I just get torn apart in the comments, in which I don't really care. I've had a YouTube channel for a long time now, so everybody's told me everything. But you're not buying into this company right now because they are a $1 billion company. They're not. They're actually it's a new company. It's not even on the stock exchange all the way yet. It's not, raking out millions upon millions of dollars. This is still a company where they're building it. It's just new. It's just new. What you're bidding into is hype. You're bidding into FOMO. You're bidding into, I'm going to buy into a company right now that I know is going to go freaking nuts this year. The further we get into this year, it's going to get crazy because the owner of it is the most popular person probably in the world, especially as deeper we get into this year. And second of all, he was the former, and he could be the new president of the United States of America. And even if Trump doesn't win in November, I still think this stock will go nuts just off the hype train, because Trump will be on it talking junk. So, I think there's big numbers in the future for Digital World, True Social here, just based on that, the Trump train. And I think right now, the majority of investors, and this is like the genesis right here. So what I'm about to say right here, listen to this. We saw this with GameStop. We saw there was a huge transformation when the GameStop, the apes, all that situation happened. If you were in the market at that time, you saw the big push right then and there with GameStop. One day it was $4, the next day it was $300. You saw that with people that were in the market that did that were betting against the hedge funds. That's why it did what it did. When that happened, it was like throwing chum in the water, and it was like this bullhorn announcing to people that had never invested before. And you had millions of people downloading Robinhood, downloading Webull, whatever these other ones are, and they were buying GameStop because they were like, well, maybe it's going to go to like $500. Maybe it's going to go to like, even if it went to, maybe 1,000, who knows? Maybe I can get, and you had people buying into the hype. And that lasted a long time. It lasted a long time. A lot of people made a lot of money. A lot of people lost a lot of money. I believe this is going to be that kind of situation when the stock gets more out of control. To me right now, it's completely out of control. To me, as an investor and somebody who's watched the market for quite a while now, and like many of you, it's stupid. It makes no sense why this is happening. It's like buying Tesla right now at if Tesla's gone through a little bit of trouble. Of course, they had the quarterlies, didn't turn out so good, and their next quarterlies, I believe, are going to be bad too. But, say Tesla was Tesla's right around $200 right now. It's probably a little overpriced right now compared to what it's going to be in a few months. But you're buying into Tesla for what is going to be, what is going to happen. And that's kind of what you're seeing right here, right now. You're buying a $50 stock right now because it could be $80 in 2 months. In November, it could be, I don't know. You could, in November, you could say, man, I should have bought more when it was like $70. That's how stupid this could get. There's no rules, there's no regulations on what this thing can do. We've never seen anything like this before. So I don't know if anybody else was talking about this on YouTube. So if somebody's telling you something like it's not going to go past this, or there's no explanation or guidelines. There's no chart that we've ever seen before with this situation. And that's why it's fun. And that's why investors have been waiting and looking for something like this in the market. I'm an investor who is long term, and I have my boring stocks that I, put money into. Tesla, whatever. Things like that. But then you have fun plays like this. So what I'm trying to say is, I believe the crazier digital world gets here, and soon, hopefully, it says True Social. Hopefully it says that soon. I believe the stock is going to get ridiculous. I believe every time Trump does something, the stock is going to react to it. I believe every time it has a sell-off, it's going to have a huge buyback in. I believe it's going to keep making these staircases to where we see it just build and build and build. I have no answer for what it's going to go to. I have no answer for why it's doing what it's doing other than what I've just told you, besides it's complete hype. It's just a situation that is going to happen this year. We may never see this again. But buying this at $50 right now may be cheap. But I will say this. It could all end tomorrow. The deal has not happened yet. So this is a very dangerous play as of right now, because you saw how fast they announced the news that the deal looks like it's going to be happening. That's what they've kind of said here. It looks like everything's good. There was no real bad news in that article, in that statement they said. It was all positive. Imagine if it was the opposite. Imagine if we had woken up today to that article before you could even sell your shares, before you could even wake up and see what's going on. The stock probably would have dropped back down to $15, $10. That's the reality. So it's a dangerous place still. So I told people this last week too. Like, I've set a sell on this. You can put a marker wherever you're comfortable at, where your buy is on this, what you're sitting at dollar wise. But I've put a sell on mine for if it goes below like $25, $26, I just immediately sell out of it, because this is a dangerous situation. We've seen things like this happen before, where everything looks like it's going right, and then it's just something goes wrong. So I don't see that happening as of right now. It's almost like too good to be true at this point. That's why I'm kind of like, the past 2 years, it's just been a negative around the stock. It's been nothing but negative. When I was talking about this stock a year ago, people were eating me alive in the comments about this. And I mean, it was like, and obviously a year ago from now, it was a different world in the United States compared to where it is now. I think we're going through another change, and this is turning into a real interesting situation. So I'm just yapping at this point, but the stock, the chart at this point again, we've seen this stock already hit almost $100 before, right when the partnership was announced back in 2020. Excuse me, not 2020, 2022, the stock went right under $100 just for a split second, and then it cooled back down for a long time because then all the lawsuits started, the court hearings, the media pushing back at True Social, everyone making fun of True Social. Look, listen, I'm not on here trying to say True Social is the best thing in the world and it's going to be the next revolutionary platform. I'm not there yet. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's not what this video is even about. It's not. I'm not on here promoting True Social, and I don't say that to be mean or nice. I really don't. I'm strictly here as talking about what we're seeing with this stock, breaking it down. This is just a situation that's probably going to get more out of control. That's what I really believe. I believe it's going to draw people in that have never invested in stocks. And I don't even know if I finished that comment earlier just because I was yapping so much. But I believe once this gets crazier, if this stock probably hits $70, $80 here soon, if this deal, I think if the deal happens here sooner than later, it's probably going to go up to some stupid number. I don't know if it's going to break double digit soon or a triple digit. It could, because it almost did that last time, but it's just hard to say. It's hard to say right now. It really is. But I do believe this is the start of it, with this much volume and this amount of buy-ins and holding. It's holding. That's the other thing too here. People are holding on to their shares. They're holding. It's just when this next wave of investors come in, that's going to be the big thing here. When the other set of investors come in here, plus with all the shares that the investors like right now aren't selling their shares, and then the dinner table gets light with what's left on it, and that's when you start talking about some pretty big money. That's when things get a little crazy. That's the news. I hope something happens here sooner than later. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. The market itself right now is doing really well. The last video I made, I told people like, hey, all these stocks, all these analysts and everything, they're all saying they believe there's going to be a huge sell-off. Now, they've been saying that for a while now, but the market keeps going up. The market's actually doing really well. The market's doing so well to where it's like, what is going on here? Because 2 months ago, everyone was saying it was going to be doom and gloom in January, February. And now they're saying, well, March is going to be a huge pullback. I'm starting to go like, is it? Is it going to be a pullback? Because I got to be honest, there's things like I want to pull the trigger on, but are things going to fall apart here? And I don't know they're going to fall apart. The market, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, it keeps going crazy. We're having a really good market right now. Everything is surprisingly doing really well. I'm sure we'll have a few bad weeks tossed in here like we have, but the market is rebounding really fast. And so, all right, I'm going to stop yapping here. Let me know what you think. I'm excited. Like I said, you'll probably get a notification here about voting, or talking to you what they're going to do here. And did it say like we're going to physically vote? It said shareholders. So if you're a shareholder, vote on the merger and light approval. So yeah, looks like it's happening. It looks like it's happening. Late June, Florida, Michigan statement. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Even the funny part about this is that I'm still talking. I'll shut up in a minute. But even when you look up news on it, it's funny because the people that are writing articles about this now are really like having to admit that like, okay, it's happening. This is actually turning, because months before this, you could not find one article where it wasn't. They weren't even talking about the deal with True Social and Digital World. They were just like railing over Trump, all of his stuff, and it was just like, this is so biased. Everything is so biased, and that's why it was so difficult. Still, it's pretty difficult to hear what's truth with what's false in this company. So it's just like it's a complete 180 at this point. It is unbelievable what has happened here, friends. I'm done. I will talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.